Hey guys, this is 𝐒𝐭𝐮𝐝, and today we are in a new outfit. This is actually an art contest piece. I decided to switch it up to what I normally wear, and today we're gonna do a tour over my 𝐒𝐭𝐮𝐝 studio and also the actual studio of where I do my art. So this room actually is called the 𝐒𝐭𝐮𝐝 studio, and it's publicly available for anybody to come in here. However, this is actually not where I take and do any of my art. I do not use this room at all, surprisingly. Um, Back in the day I might have, but yeah, this is completely for the public to come check out. So the first thing we see is this. We have this little intro room. We have even a token board for those who have done token commissions. They come in here and they kind of donate. Um, but that's that wall. But we have my big door, my mushrooms, of course, and my custom shirt wall. This has a lot of them. It's not all of them though, surprisingly. A big wall of shirts here. But anyways, this is the entrance. It's very large. It's also a studio room, which is why it has uh uh those stars and that sky up there. It's a little bit different to any of my other rooms, but this is the only one that is actually a studio room. Anyways, this is kind of it. The main entrance is just pretty big. It's got a bunch of plain boards around and things like that, and each of these have markers on them, just like so. But this is the main area, kind of. This part is kind of the main thing that has like actual art. We'll go ahead and look this way. We have a little sitting area and we have this artboard. This is one of my favorites, and I thought I matched this piece a little bit because of the nature backgrounds, the river and the pond here. And this is just a little area where we can sit and hang out and all of that. And then if we go on to the other side, we have another sitting area, but we have the little TV area where people can like hook up to their stuff. I am unable to do that. I don't know why it showed that I could. Rec Room's kind of broken, honestly. But anyways, we have a couple corridors. On each level, we have some corridors. But I think for now, we'll just kind of take a look at the different art. So here we have a tiger, and up here we have a fairy girl, and over here we have Faith, and then we have the 𝐒𝐿𝐴 Studio logo. This is what it looks like. Uh, Very cool. I really like all this moss and the greeneries and the lanterns and stuff. And then on this side, this is what this side looks like. It's his logo, the arch. This wall is kind of plain. The lighting in here is very bright. I'm not entirely sure how I could have fixed that. And I think we're gonna go to the top floors first. We'll start in here. So here we have some artwork of mine just along the wall. So this one is a drawing I did for 𝐒𝐭𝐮𝐝. And then here we have a poster with some markers, my art contest piece, and then here we have my friends, and then we have a drawing I did of sky, another poster of the art gallery, and this is a picture of me. And then if we go straight across, we have more artwork. So we have Foxy, we have a poster for the fairy garden, we have Creep Cake or Cake Man, then we have K-Duck and her dog, we have a Queen of Hearts person, a mermaid, a room that's missing. This is likely where the Realism art class was. Not entirely sure. And then we have a 4th of July piece. Now, for the two quarters that are down below, we'll start on this right side. Um, this corridor has my realism art class boards in here. Not all of them, but a majority. But you come in here and you can find basics to sketching over here. This is also has lighting and shading, so these are some different types of lighting that you can do. Remember to follow the shapes of the lines rather than making them not following the rounded circle. And then these are just some different hatching examples. We have the realism art class board, and then we have the teachers kind of listed, plus the room and the club itself. And then we have more boards. So this one is for perspective. And then this one is how to look at objects and simplify them to actually draw them, and also giving values to things. And then here we have a tree. I really like trees. They're kind of everywhere. This was a free drawing I did of Mocha. This was a sketch, and this was the final version. And then here we have a details and texturing. So how I did a lot of the details and textures. So like, block out the colors and then add some textures on top. So I did like hatching and stippling on this one. And then down here was landscapes and backgrounds. So this was the composition and characteristics, which was fun to like teach. And then over here I have the same thing with Mocha. So the sketch of this drawing and then the final version of what it turned out to be. All of these things were very cool to kind of do. And then the other side is kind of more interesting. Um, This side has actually some like fan art pieces or just art people have done or things that people gifted me. So we'll go ahead and start right here. This was a birthday thing whenever I turned 20. Now, this has been 3 years ago, so it just says happy birthday, eyes. Love you, bestie. You're 20 now. Welcome to the 20 club, because some of my friends were like older than me. But yeah, they did this for me. I was like, oh, you guys are so cute. And then this is a drawing that I actually did. One of my first drawings I did of myself in the game. It's interesting. It's not the best. And then we have this one, which was given to me by Shocked Black. It's a very cute, simple sketch. And then we have this one by Jeff. He's actually a developer, and I didn't know that at the time whenever he gave me this. And so, like, now it's like very cherished. I love this. And then we have this drawing by 𝐤𝐥𝐜𝐸. They did this for Secret Santa for Ballard Academy, and it turned out so cool. I love that I have purple eyes. I normally draw myself with brown eyes because that's what I have IRL, but I kind of dig the purple eyes, low-key. And then this is a 3D outline of my Rec Room avatar that Cakeman did. And then over here we have 𝐒𝐭𝐮𝐝 um, pixel art of my character. And then down here we have a couple of like Funko Pops that me and one of my old buddies made. And they turned out pretty cute. I liked it. This is also really old avatar that I used to wear back in 2021. Like when I first started, I wore like a little crown and a green dress. So very fun. And then here we have this drawing by Alexi. This is very cute. It's very cool. I like it. I love the hair. It's very cool. And then here we have a couple outlines that people have done. So this is just eyes draws, so ED. This is an outline of a photo of me, which is funny. And here's another one. And then up here, somebody drew this. And it low-key, at first it looks printed, but if you look closer, it's generally drawn, which is like crazy to me. They did a very good job. And then over here we have this drawing, which was done by Faith. And I really love this one because of Iris. He just looks very whimsical. And also, look at these nails. I'm I'm like goated. I look so cute. And then we have more outlines of this one's me, Robin, and Mike. And then this is just my name. And then right here is something I was gifted from the Valorant Academy team. So it's thank you for being a host there, which is really cool to see that now I'm not a host and I'm actually a contributor over there and like a team leader, which is really cool. Pretty proud of myself for getting up there. And then here is my little best UGC avatar item of 2023-2024. I got that at the Creator Gala, and I'm so proud of myself. I actually got it with this shirt, um, which is very cool. But yeah, so this is that room. So this is the studio. Now this is the public version. I wanted some place for people to kind of like come and check out maybe like what could be my art studio. In reality, my art studio is not the best, but I'll show that in a few moments. I also wanted to show this place off because I make YouTube videos in here sometimes about like art and things like that, which is why there is a crescendo bat. I was explaining the use of like art supplies, and yeah, this is how that turned out. It's a very silly guy, but yeah, this is this room. All right, so this is the legit art room. Okay, now the actual art room is very plain, and it's basically just a very big empty space with a floor and a wall with some art. And that's basically all that there is to this place. There's not a whole lot in here. However, I do want to show it because I feel like it's kind of interesting to see where I actually drew all of my art rather than, letting people just know, oh, it's the 𝐒𝐿𝐴 studio room, and in reality, it's literally just a blank room. But anyways, let's go ahead and look at everything. All right, so when you first spawn, you kind of get faced with this. This is just a blank wall with a bunch of art on it. So this is a board I had up for just anybody to kind of come and draw on or write something on it. And yeah, we have a couple of cool pieces. Saying Lewis was here, Baloo, 𝐒𝐿𝐴𝐨𝐽𝐿𝐵. Okay, first off, nobody is allowed to call me 𝐒𝐿𝐴𝐽𝐿𝐵. That is strictly for friends, best friends, and very limited friends because low key I hate being called it. Um, but it's fine. Um, but yeah, we have a lot of different cool pieces. This one's by like cartoons. He's a goated artist. Um, Mizu was here. 𝐒𝐭𝐮𝐝 was here. Uh, I'm trying to think of his name. Walker Walks was here. I forgot who made the eye. But yeah, those are just a couple things people have done on there. And then these were kind of my latest projects. So this I was supposed to do with Cloud Boot, but then the game kind of shut down. So yeah, I don't know what to do about that. I might have to just do it digitally, maybe. I'm not too sure. And then this piece, I was working on a new PFP, uh, and yeah, that this never got finished either. I might finish it. We'll see. I can't make any promises, honestly. And then up here, I was working on a collab. So I was doing stippled art, and this was my dragon that I was working on. Yeah, there's not a whole lot to this. I basically did like a sketch of it and started the face, and that was really it. And then again, I have my friends up here to keep me motivated. And then over here, we have Eden. So my friend was working on making little figures of some of the rec room staff. So this is Eden, and then that's Chase. And then I was working on a how to draw dragons kind of board, kinda slightly. I don't know. And then up here we have a couple of my friends' art. So this is Neptune's art piece. He's the one who I was doing the collab with the dragon. He was gonna do a knight, and I was gonna do the dragon, and I think the background. But yeah. And then this is Mizu's art. This is Luis, and Luis. He was working on all of this. But yeah. And then we have like a second floor, kinda. I honestly don't know why we had this. I don't, who put a spoon in here? Um, I don't know. Sometimes I kind of join this room and there's just like random stuff here. So we have a spoon, but this kind of walkway, one of my friends set this up and put a bunch of chairs so we could watch like me draw basically. Oh, and then people kind of decorated the space. So this is like from Walker's thing. This is Robin, more Robin. All of my different Robins are on these chairs. Mizu's chair. We have a marker here. And then we got like Combi, Stanley, a couple more outlines, and a crow, and a couple of artboards for Hairy Man Legs and Combi, which I made for them and Cake Man. And then we have another screen, and even though there's a screen over there, I don't really know. Sometimes my friends are just like wacky. And you might see this big blue box. This is my retcon booth, or no, Creator Expo booth that I made. Um, I don't know why it's here. It's just kind of here. You spawn like right here, so sometimes you'll just spawn on the floor because you're like underneath it technically, but it's fine. I don't know. But yeah, this is my retcon booth. I might show this off now. This is for the realism art class, but the room's missing because I put it in a different thing. Um, but we got Teacher Appreciation Day, my gallery. As you can see, we marked on things running around here. Um, we got my clipboard, my sketch of 𝐒𝐭𝐮𝐲, my snow angel, my big art piece, and some little art. Plus Robin again. We love Robin. Back here we have that other TV thing. And then I don't know who put this here. It's probably Walker. Walker puts a lot of things in here. And then we also have this like setup. So I got a art trade with Walker Walks to get this of my like character, and he made it like however he did this. I don't know, like with tubes and shapes, and I don't know how he did this, but these are really cool. He's made a bunch of these for like a lot of different creators. And then I bought my boyfriend one because I was like, this would be funny to make him like a bird because his name is Crow. Although currently, right now, his name is Pretty Bird because I kind of forced him to call himself Pretty Bird. But his is really cool. I really love this. And like his little crow bag. Like these are just really cool pieces. And Walker Walks made these. And then, oh, also, since we had that mushroom, Walker made this into a seat that I can like actually sit in. So that's pretty cool that that's there. But yeah, this is like my actual art room where I come and draw. I don't know whose this is. How do I see? I can't see. I I honestly can't see this. How do I flip it over? All of the light is like up here on the wall, but that's not very. Wait, I saw it briefly. Video contest, best picture, Rec TV. I don't know who put that there. Oh, There is one thing that I will show, maybe. So, anyways, again, this room completely private, and I like my friends put stuff in here all the time. I didn't know that was back there for like 4 months because I'm always over here, like right here. And so I never go over there because this is where my friends like do all their little funny things. And then I randomly walked over there. I was like, "What is that sound? Like I'm hearing something." And yeah, I found that in let's just say let's just say I was not too much of a happy camper and I messaged them. I was like, "When did you put this in here?" He's like, "4 months ago." I was like, "What?" That's crazy. But yeah, this is my actual art room. Like this is where I come to draw. Um, yeah, all of my markers. Oh, all of my markers. Yeah, this is kind of sad. I'm not gonna lie. I won't be able to come back here and draw um in like a couple days. So that's crazy. But anyways, I hope you liked this video. It's very short, but I just wanted to show off like where I drew things in different places and yeah. Anyways, enjoy, have fun. If you liked it, let me know. I don't know. Have a good day, y'all.